We do actually quite like China in the near term, a bit more cautious on the sort of longer term, just because of the sort of regulatory aspects there. You know, everybody got sort of caught out about a couple of years ago with the clampdown in various sectors. But in the near term, we do think China is an interesting play in that it's kind of lagged some of the other markets. Having said that, the reopening is proving to be a bit of a damp squib at the moment. Totally, yeah. And, you know, obviously they're going to have to do something to stimulate the property market, which is where so many, sort of the man in the street has a lot of his wealth. So it is looking like they will have to do something, but it's going to be much more targeted. And, you know, consumption is still holding up. It's actually the manufacturing data that's looking quite weak.
What can they do with the property sector? You've got a property sector which has had a multi-decade boom. There is a vast amount of land and land sales which benefited the municipal authorities, which they're not going to anymore, which is accounted for a vast, I think it was like 20% of the Chinese growth story was down to property. There is a vast amount of property. It's almost like, feels like the bridges to nowhere scenario, i.e. they've built a load of capacity which isn't going to be satiated, and President Xi has said property isn't for speculation, property is for living in as well. So I just don't understand how they work this one out.
Well, they're going to have to be very targeted about it, and they clearly don't want to create a lot of kind of ghost cities.
Any more ghost cities?
Any more ghost cities, yeah, exactly. And so they're going to have to be very careful about how they do it. And they are trying to sort of, you know, they don't want people to be sort of taking one bet on just their property. They want to sort of broaden out the kind of sources of wealth in the economy. So I think, you know, it's got to be done very carefully.
Just reading into your portfolio positioning, you call defensive growth the area of the market you like. In particular, you call out healthcare. Yeah. Why do you like healthcare?
So we think it's an area that's been somewhat sort of neglected compared to other parts of the market, and is a bit undervalued relative to other areas.
And just stop you on that point, neglected. If we look at the step up we saw from March into April, there was a big pop. It didn't look like it was neglected then.
No, but I think, you know, just looking at the sort of, I think really more from a valuation perspective, and there are some great growth stories there. You know, there's great innovation. We've got an ageing population, and, you know, we at Newton are thematic in our approach, so we're thinking about these long-term trends. Which all are very much favour this sector. You know, there's going to be just massive increased demand as people go into retirement and need more services. And that's not just big pharma, that's also, you know, some of the medical device companies.
Were you talking about some of the big themes too in alternatives? You've been looking at renewables, infrastructure. Yes. I spent a weekend talking about energy security and energy transition.
Yes.
But you've got a name for us, for instance, Greencoat Renewables. Yes. How do you pluck out the right trade at this point?
Well, I mean, you know, we've held some of these investments in our portfolio for multi-year, actually. You know, we've had them in, we've increased our alternatives exposure really more materially over the last sort of 5 years or so. So they now represent quite a significant part of our portfolio. And, you know, it's like any investment, you have to be really selective, you know, look at the fundamentals. Obviously, the sort of renewables and the infrastructure side has got this big green tailwind of, you know, the areas like, you know, the Inflation Reduction Act in the US. Europe has had a big push on greening their economy. So it's a very interesting and dynamic area of the portfolio. But again, you know, valuations are important, and you have to kind of watch that quite carefully.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.